Rise up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burning Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, howdy there, daylight burners. Happy Wednesday. Missed a show for you yesterday. I do have an explanation for that. I don't know if you want to hear it or not, but I'll go ahead and give it to you. That's what I told her. That sounds bad. It don't matter. This is the Friggin Farm and Ranch Report for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. I'm rolling up 2 episodes in one since I missed yesterday. I had it put together, but it was way too late, and I'd been working behind a computer screen too much, and anyhow, didn't get done. Had some struggles with the recording the last couple of days, but I think we're maybe smooth sailing. We'll see. But let's before we get into the show, I do have stuff to talk about. But make sure you go follow me on all the social medias, wherever you listen to your podcasts, at Spotify, Apple, any of them. I don't know what the rest of them are, but Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X now, YouTube, Rumble, all that. But most importantly, go to Substack, burningdaylight.substack.com. Subscribe over there. You get you get ad-free versions of the shows, unless I'm supporting the sale barn. So I was always looking for those. So if you got some that would be a good fit, please send them my way. But you also get a detailed look at all the stuff that I use to put this report together, all the sources. You get access to the transcripts, all that good stuff. And plus you get access to the apps that I'm building, including the studio that I'm recording on right now. I built it myself using AI. And I've also got the Burning Daylight Report, which is the dashboard that I use to put all this together. And I was working on that for a good chunk of yesterday and most of today, but I think maybe it is good to go. And then, of course, there's the Man About a Horse app, which is equine intelligence, trying to put some sort of definition on the horse market, or markets, as is more accurately termed. So if you got any interest in that, go over to burningdaylight.substack.com. It's the best way to support the show, and let's get into it. So there's 3 things you need to know before. Okay, so Wednesday tape, Tuesday WASDE confession. That is the World Agricultural Supply and Demand something. I don't know. It's a predictor for what the world ag supply and demand is supposed to be. There's 3 things you need to know before the closing bell. Closing bell's done, but the 3 things you need to know. One is the May WASDE drop Monday at 11 a.m. Central. That's WASDE, WASDE 671. And it was a wheat blowout. New crop U.S. all wheat production was projected at 1.561 billion bushels. That's down almost a third, 424 million bushels from last year, and it came in below the lowest pre-report trade estimate. Below the lowest one. The KE. Kansas City. That should be Kansas City. Kansas City wheat ran 50 cents on the news. Ran up 50 cents on the news. Corn's up 24. Beans up 33. And the WASDE also cut the 2026 U.S. beef production by 243 million pounds. They're calling the herd story structural into 2027. Number 2, and there's the part where you really need to pay attention. The board did not rally on the bullish beef cut. Live cattle Tuesday was down $1.70 to $2.80 across the front months. Feeders down $2.50 to anywhere from $2.50 to $7.30. The speculative longs are exiting the market. Cash bids hit $2.60 live on Tuesday. It's a record territory, but the futures said they do not believe that it lasts. We will unpack that disconnect in this show. And third, the DOJ confirmed the criminal antitrust probe of the Big Four Packers on May 4th. Acting AG Todd Blanche, and at the podium with the USDA Secretary Rollins and Trade Counselor Pete Navarro standing behind him. The whistleblower reward is 15 to 30% on any penalty over $1 million. 3 million documents have been reviewed, hundreds of interviews. This is a story that we've been tracking since earlier this spring. And it went from civil to criminal, and from rumor to, a press conference that didn't say much. But we covered all that. Plus, the Trump and Xi Jinping summit kicks off in Beijing tomorrow, May 14th and 15th. Ag is at the center of every leaked agenda item, and we've got a lot of ground to cover in. So let's get into it. Wrong button. So that was the. I should have had that slide up already. All right. So let's get into it all. Market flash. We got 2 days to catch up on post the WASDE report dropping. So write them down. The cattle complex. We got live cattle Tuesday was down 170 to 280 across the 280 across the front months. Closing pin near 248.53 per the Helena morning report. Settles figure in the feed showed front month near 252.72. So call the directional move, not the precise. I pulled a Ron Burgundy there. So it was around 252.72. Feeders on Tuesday were down 250 to 730. Feeder cattle, the feeder cattle index on Monday, May 11th, that was 374.37. That was down 148 day to day. The board sold the WASDE beef cut, and open interest on live cattle down on 2,268 contracts on Tuesday. The longs are just walking. On the cash cattle, that's where the real disconnect is. Tuesday's bid in the south was at 260 live. That is record territory. Last week settled at 256 to 260. The north was at 258 to 260 dressed. The 5-area weighted average for the week ending May 3rd came in at 255.02. That was up nearly $9 from the previous week. Dressed averaged 399.08. The Wednesday Fed Cattle Exchange, which ran today, I don't have numbers for you. Got busy with baseball and softball, so I'll report on that tomorrow. But that'll tell us if the 260 number holds. And then on the grains post WASDE, the corn's up 24 cents on the day. December corn's near $5 and a quarter pre-report to finish the strong session on the world stocks miss. So 277.5 million metric tons versus 286.7 for the analyst average. Soybeans are up 33 cents. New crop ending stocks 310 million bushels, well below the 353 of the analyst average. And wheat was the headliner. The Kansas City hard red winter up 50 cents on the session. That's a huge move. Chicago wheat sharply higher. The drought story finally got handed the USDA-backed structural floor. Old crop adjustments were minor, and the fireworks were all in the new crop. And the wheat number is the print of the month. Lean hogs, there was no major WASDE move. Pork production raised 10 million pounds to 27.985 billion. And hogs closed out at, I had that number somewhere up here. Wrong tab. It would help if I was in the right tab. Bum, 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 bum. All right, lean hogs closed out at $100.88. That was up $10 on the day. So, pretty good movement on the hogs. On the energy, diesel is pinned. The EIA weekly retail for Monday, May 12th was confirmed at $5.64 a gallon. That's flat week over week. That's the third week in a row now at $5.64. Regular gas is at $4.50, and so we've been at the third straight report at $5.60 plus. Now the Hormuz premium is locked in and not really peeling back. Forget the wobble that we talked about on May 1st. Diesel is just sticky high. Farm diesel's up 46% since the end of February. Good Lord. And then on the macro side, Trump and Xi Jinping are meeting at the Beijing summit tomorrow and Friday. Soybean tape is positioning around it. The dollar bid treasuries were unchanged on Tuesday. No Fed surprise. The chairman Warsh took over May 15th. Per the calendar. No, he got confirmed. Anyway, the cattle on feed report for April, the feedlot summary is at 11.6 million head. That's 1% below April last year. Next cattle on feed drops late this month. Slaughter pace running about 34,000 head below a year ago. And that confirms the WASDE cut. Okay. Today's top story. Nope. Right here. All right, let me shrink myself down. Okay. Today's top story for the top story for the day is the WASDE report, which dropped on Monday, May 12th at 11 a.m. Central. USDA dropped WASDE 671, the May World Agricultural Supply and Demand estimates. First report with new crop 2026-2027 projections. And here's the number that matter in order of importance to work and outfit. Wheat was the blowout. 26-27 U.S. all wheat production at 1.561 billion bushels. That's down 424 million bushels from last year's 1.985 billion. The pre-report analyst average was 841 million. The low estimate in the entire trade range was 760 million, and the WASDE came in at 762. Thread the needle on the low end, but still pretty much pegged there at the low end. Harvest area was cut sharply. The yield pegged at 47.5 bushels per acre. That's down 5.8 from last year. Ending stocks at 762 million bushels, 18% below current year. And global wheat ending stocks at 275 million metric tons, down from 279.2. Every major wheat exporter, so the U.S., EU, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, are showing lower production. Russia and Ukraine, not real surprising there, considering that war has been going on for now 4 years. This number is not what we've been saying for 3 weeks. The drought is real. The number is what we've been saying for the last 3 weeks. The drought is real and it's baked in. USDA just made it official, I guess. What that all means is that if you grew winter wheat last fall, the value of your stored grain went up on Monday and is going up further into the harvest. If you're running an outfit that buys wheat or hay built on a wheat base, you're about to pay more for feed. That's period, end of story. The corn wheat spread tightened up, and hay replacement costs were up. So plan summer hay purchases now and not in July. Beef production was the structural cut. USDA cut, it was a structural cut. They cut the 2026 U.S. beef production by 243 million pounds. Total is now 25.547 billion pounds. They cite tight market-ready cattle supplies, slow second-half feedlot placements, and lighter cull cow slaughter. Your average steer price forecast bumped up to $249.66 per hundredweight. That was up $8. And the second quarter steer price raised to $253, third quarter at $252, and fourth quarter at $255. And that is up 10 from the April number. But here's the catch. Beef imports got raised to 319 million pounds. Exports are down 4 million pounds. So the domestic supply tightens and retail prices climb, and the USDA is letting more foreign beef into the channel to ease the squeeze on the consumer end. This is the backdoor country of origin labeling that Cool was supposed to close. We'll be watching for the country breakdown on those reports. On the corn side, it was quietly bullish on world stocks. Old crop stocks ending raised slightly to 2.142 billion bushels, in line with the trade, and the new crop's at 1.957, and that is also in line. The kicker, though, is that world corn for 26-27 ending stocks at 277.5 million metric tons, and trade was expecting 286.7. Low end of the estimates was 268, and we came in at 277.5. So that was significantly higher than what the board thought. Brazil old crop jumped up to 135 million metric tons. New crop global balance still tight, and farm gate corn prices projected at $4.40 a bushel. That's up 20 cents. On the soybean sides, it was slightly bullish. Old crop ending stocks cut to 340 million bushels, and the new crop ending stocks at 310, and that's well below the 353 million that the analyst averaged, and that was below the low end of that trade range. Brazil new crop is at 186 million metric tons. Argentina's at 50, and farm price is at 11.40 versus 10.40 on the current year. Soybeans rallied 33 cents on that session. The headline number, though, is wheat. The structural number is beef, and the quiet handoff to imports is a story nobody's talking about yet, but we will be. Let's take a look into the cattle side of things, including our sale barn pulse. And this is where the disconnect's at. Cash cattle hit 260 live on Tuesday. That was record territory, and where last week settled at record territory of 256 to 260 in the south and 258 to 260 dressed in the north. The 5-area weighted average for the week ending May 3rd was 252.02 live and 399.08 dressed. That's up nearly $9 over the previous week. Demand has not broken. Packers keep paying up, and hedger's edge margin is still in the deep red. The last clean number was a minus 231 per head. No new update since the WASDE report dropped. And yet the board walked. Live cattle Tuesday was down 170 to 280, and feeders were down 250 to 730. WASDE cut beef production 243 million pounds and raised steer price forecast $8 to $10 across the back half. And the speculators sold it. Open interest on live cattle down to 2,268 contracts on Tuesday, and that, again, the long positions are just walking out. And why is a good question. We got two reads on this. So one is the long side is already crowded. Everybody is long on cattle. The bullish news got priced in over the last 6 weeks of rallies, and Monday's WASDE was an excuse to ring the register. And on the second reason is somebody on the speculative side does not believe that $260 a hundred holds. They are betting on Packard chain slowdowns, retail meat case resistance, or the imports number eating the price floor. On the box beef side, for Tuesday afternoon, choice was at $390.73. That was down 49 cents, and select was down 22 cents, making the choice select spread at a positive 54. It's a historically tight margin for grilling season. Cutout is not breaking higher, which is the canary on whether retail can pass the cash record through. On the slaughter end, the week ending April 25th, we had 529,000 head federally inspected. The week ending May 3rd, we had 527 head. So that's 7,000 below the previous week and 34,000 below last year. Year to date, red meat production is running 3.5% below last year. And this is the WASDE structural story confirmed in the weekly numbers. We're killing fewer number of cattle because there are fewer cattle to be had. And this is not just a wedge to be open. There isn't a wedge to be opened in capacity at the moment. What this means for the outfit at home is if you're selling cattle today, hold for the Wednesday Fed Cattle Exchange. The exchange is the cleanest read on whether that 260 number holds. And if it does, you know cash has another leg. And if it folds back to 254 to 256, then the board was right and the speculators are out ahead of you. Either way, that print is the trade. On the sale barn side, we had I got 4 barns I was looking at this week, including our friends over at Lone Star Stockyards. But leading them off, we had OKC West over there in El Reno. On May 5th, they had total receipts of 2,200 head. That is way down. What did they have? I'm going to look up what they had for Tuesday's sale. OKC West. Market reports. Okay, so they had a big sale. Big sale on Tuesday. They ran 11,009 head. So that was up from on the 5th at 11,061. Compared to last week, feeder steers were 4 to 14 lower, with the biggest decline on the heavyweights. Feeder heifers over 750 pounds were $8 to $13 lower, and under 750 was 5 to 8 lower. Both steer and heifer runs started even lower than quoted, but did improve as the sale progressed. Thin-fleshed eared cattle were not discounted as heavily today, but as buyer interest was driven more by flesh condition than overall quality. Steer calves were $5 to $10 higher in a limited supply of one grade cattle. Heifer calves steady to $5 lower, and the bulk of the calf supply consisted of either unweaned or soft, fleshy, short-weaned cattle. Quality cattle did improve from very plain to plain by the end of the sale, and parts of Oklahoma received rainfall over the past week, but showers remained scattered and inconsistent. Some producers commented that pasture conditions resemble what is typically seen in August. After losses on Monday and Tuesdays, the CME futures traded in the green today. Fed cattle trade continues to set records, with Northern Live reaching 265 and dress sales up to 410, while Southern trade bought 262. Supply included 100% feeder cattle, 43% steers, 56% heifers, and 1% bulls. Winter livestock over in Dodge City on May 2nd, they had total receipts of 8,712 head. That was up massively from the prior week at 1,200. 91% of them over 600 pounds, heavy feeders. Medium and large Class 1 steers, light 400-pound class brought 615 per hundredweight, and a heavier 925-pound thin-fleshed lot sold at 344 a hundred. Fancy 975 pounders at 332. Heifers 330 pounders at $660 a hundred, and 826 pound spade heifers at 339. Deep receipts, deep buying, and market clearing. Cattle Currents weekly wrap for the week ending May 1 had Dodge City feeder steers down 3 to 5, with the heifers mostly steady. Beaver County Stockyards there in Beaver, Oklahoma had a Tuesday sale. Total receipts running lighter than peak spring runs with a front end set of yearlings and a big string of ball and calves. Thin flesh steers and heifers found plenty of friends. Fleshy and plain kinds got sorted hard. The front end 800 to 875 pound steers pushed the top of the country, while 450 to 550 pound calves traded on a wide spread based on condition and shots. The read from the alley was that quality and condition premiums are alive and well, but nobody is throwing stupid money at average cattle with 564 a gallon diesel. Lone Star Stockyards over there in Wildorado, our friends, their Tuesday sale, spring catalog still running heavy. Front pin reputation strings drew aggressive bidding from both country buyers and order buyers, and longtime consigners with weaned worked calves and yearlings saw the kind of money that justifies a 300 or 400 mile haul. I was listening to one of their TikTok videos, and they had a guy that had hauled them all the way up from New Mexico. It was 550 miles for him. Plainer unweaned calves still sold, but with a noticeable dock. Mexican food truck was very busy all day, so it was a good sign that there was enough buyers in the seats to make a market and not just pass the time. On the national read, the 5 area weighted average for cash cattle was 255.02 for the week ending May 3rd. That was up 884 from the prior week. On Friday, May 9th close, the futures gave back. Live cattle averaged down 404 on the week, and feeders down 811. The futures sell-off was Friday's tell before WASDE, and the WASDE bullish news on Monday did not reverse it. The speculative bias has shifted. I don't have anything new for you on the horse stuff yet, mostly because I've put that on the back burner while I'm trying to get other stuff fixed up. Okay, so I will have some more stuff for you either tomorrow or on the Friday weekly wrap. So editorial note for the producer at home: if you got calves to sell this week, condition matters more than weight class. The thin flesh lots are still bringing a premium. Plain quality lots are getting docked, and that is buyer behavior across pretty much all 6 of the anchor barns. So bring your cattle in shape if you want top of the market money. Let's get into the input side of things. Where's the inputs? Okay, here we are. Okay, so two numbers tell the input squeeze story. One being diesel. The EIA weekly retail for Monday, May 12th was at $5.64 a gallon. That was flat week over week, and it's the second week running at $5.64. I also had the AAA numbers somewheres I had them. It was expensive, I can tell you that. All right, so AAA average, we had regular unleaded at 451.1, diesel's at 565.9, and those are fresh numbers from just a little bit ago. Regular gas is at 450. So for context, as recently as January of this year, weekly diesel was running from 346 to 369. We've nearly doubled in 4 months. The trigger was the Strait of Hormuz closure and the Middle East tensions, and that premium is not peeling off. Farm diesel was up 46% since the end of February. On the fertilizer side, American Farm Bureau survey out on April 14th said 5,700 plus farmers nationwide, or that's who answered. 70% of respondents cannot afford all the fertilizer they need for the 2026 season. Urea prices are up 47% since the end of February. Nitrogen's up 30+%. And southern producers are hit hardest, with 78% saying they cannot afford full rates. Only 19% of southern producers pre-booked fertilizer this year. Compare that to 67% in the Midwest who pre-booked. Barge urea at New Orleans traded at $4.50 a ton earlier this spring. That was up from $3.89 a year ago. Now it's materially higher. The CME corn urea ratio hit a 5-year high near 87 to 90 bushels per ton. That is burning margin in real time. 94% of the respondents say their finances have worsened or stayed flat in 2026. On the hay side, we don't have any specific hay report this week, but 63% of the U.S. cattle herd is in drought area, and the southeast being at exceptional drought. Ranchers in those zones are hauling hay very long distances, and that moves the regional spot price up regardless of what the national report is going to say. And what all that means is that if you have not booked nitrogen for your next planting, book it now, because the Hormuz premium is sticky, and WASDE just confirmed wheat and corn input demand stays high. Urea is not coming down. The urea corn ratio is at 87 to 90 bushels per ton. And that's a flashing red light at current crop prices. Buying fertilizer at that ratio is a losing trade. Some producers are running shorter rates and accepting the yield hit, while others are pushing payment terms. Whatever your move is, don't get caught flat-footed this July. Let's see. All right. On the policy side of things, story one's the DOJ antitrust probe, but just an update on that. Big Four Packers from May 4th. That kind of pathetic press conference with Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, and Trade Counselor Pete Navarro at his shoulder. DOJ confirmed that an active antitrust investigation into JBS, Cargill, Tyson, and National Beef. Those are the four firms that control roughly 85% of the fed cattle processing. Or if you listen to the Packers shills on social media, it's only 80 to 81%, which, is so much better. 3 million documents already reviewed and hundreds of industry participants interviewed. Blanche said the DOJ will pursue both civil and criminal tools, and there's a whistleblower reward at 15 to 30% on any penalty over $1 million. Navarro distinguished this from the Obama and Biden era probes, which closed after 5 years with no findings, by calling this one different in, quote, velocity, intent, and actual action, end quote. A separate DOJ settlement was announced the same day with AgriStats, the data firm sued in 2023 for sharing competitive intel between pork and poultry processors. Half of the top four packers are foreign-owned or have significant foreign ownership, and you can read into that what you want. But I think if you've been listening very long, you know my thoughts on that. I am a free markets guy, but I also am a realist, and I don't think foreign companies should be owning such a huge stake in our food supply. But anyway, this is the thread we've been tracking since earlier this spring. It just went from grand jury rumor to attorney general podium. So whistleblowers, if you have ever worked at JBS, Cargill, Tyson, or National Beef in pricing, procurement, or scheduling, you should know your rights and the math on the bounty attached to being a whistleblower. This is the table possibly being set for indictments. We'll see on that. I don't know how much I buy into that. Story number two, Farm Bill again. House Resolution 7567, but now we're watching the Senate. It was passed in the House on April 30th, 224 to 200. The pesticide preemption was struck on the floor 280 to 142. And now in the Senate, we're waiting on the Senate Ag Committee's hearing schedule. 2018 Farm Bill is extended at existing funding levels through September 30th. So there is no immediate crisis if the Senate slow walks. But if it slow walks past September, we are going to have to extend it again. The Senate Ag Committee could write its own version rather than take up the House text. It is one of the procedural fights to watch. I don't know if it's legal for the... there's a lot of stuff I know is not legal that the government does anyways. But I think that all spending packages have to originate in the House. So whether they write a new one and send it back is to be seen, and I won't be surprised if it is. But I think that's technically against the law. All right. Story number 3, we got Trump and Xi Jinping meeting at the Beijing summit tomorrow, May 14th and 15th. Soybean tape is positioning itself around that meeting, and the leaked agenda items include beef and poultry market access for U.S., exports into China, and advanced soybean purchase commitments and rare earth supply chain language. There has been no U.S. Trade Relations Delegation travel announcement that I've been able to confirm as of yet. Bean exports to China have been running at marketing year lows, and China has been absent on U.S. soy purchases for weeks. A breakthrough here on beef market access could materially move the demand side of the WASDE export number. We will lead Friday's show with whatever comes out of Beijing by that time. And I guess we should have news on that because they're quite a bit ahead of us. A quick little hit on, we'll have to get back to that one all right, just don't have a slide for that one, but APHIS doc, so that's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service branch of the USDA. APHIS document number 2026-05821 or 05821. That document number is in the Federal Register pipeline this week and references brucellosis management area actions in the greater Yellowstone area. Specific text is not in our hands yet, but watch aphis.usa.gov this week if you run cattle on or near the greater Yellowstone area boundaries. On a related March document, 2026-04949, expanded the brucellosis management area with new state MOU requirements, Memorandum of Understanding. I think that's... The trend is more APHIS authority on cross-state cattle movement tied to wildlife reservoirs. And then also House Resolution 8698 was referred to the House Energy and Commerce on May 7. I don't have the text on that, so keep an eye on the committee schedule. All right, let's get into some more of our domestic ag trade, or ag stories, rather. And we just got one this week, but it's a pretty big one, and it's Colorado wolf depredation. The budget for that is gone. Colorado Parks and Wildlife has now paid out, or is poised to pay out, over $1.07 million in wolf depredation claims for 2025 alone. To put that in perspective, the state's annual compensation fund was at $350,000. And they've blown through that by a factor of 3. The original Proposition 114 estimate said that the program would run $800,000 a year, but they blew through that already as well. Total payouts over the first 2 years since wolves were reintroduced is $1.722 million. The most recent livestock death was a calf in Pitkin County on April 23rd. Two new claims totaling $262,000 were headed to the May 7th CPW commission meeting. Beyond direct kills, 30 livestock killed in year 1 and 44 head in year 2. But beyond that, ranchers are documenting hundreds of thousands of dollars in claims tied to lower birth rates and lower market weights from herd stress. Colorado Parks and Wildlife is required to pay those out as well. CPW's 2026-2027 budget allocated $2.1 million to the wolf program, and the Colorado State Legislature did something good for once, and they prohibited use of taxpayer money to acquire additional wolves. 5 out of the 6 states in the federally approved acquisition zone have refused to provide wolves, and the 6th state is Oregon, and they sent problem wolves with livestock killing histories to Colorado. 6 months after bringing in 15 head of British Columbia wolves last January, 7 of those are dead in 6 months. One of them was shot by U.S. Fish and Wildlife after sheep kills, and the program's expected 6-year cost north of $10 million, and that's more than 10 times the original estimate. Typical government program for you. Why this matters beyond Colorado, though, is every western state with a voter-initiated wildlife every western state with a voter-initiated wildlife reintroduction on the ballot, and there's several of them pending, is watching Colorado's budget implosion in real time. This is the template, though. Voter-approved predator reintroduction is way more expensive in practice than in pamphlet. Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and New Mexico. Note the math on that before you vote on all these voter initiatives. A quick hit here from the BLM Nevada Flanagan allotment. Sierra Front Field Office issued a proposed grazing decision on May 1st on the Flanagan allotment permit renewal. 96,592 acres in Washoe County. That's about 50 miles north of Reno, a couple hours from me. 55,071 of those acres are BLM managed public land. A separate Western Livestock Journal item on May 7th noted that BLM approved a Nevada allotment renewal for up to 4,843 AUMs authorized year-round. These decisions are individually routine. They're also where 10-year grazing permits quietly get tightened. So if you have an allotment or up for renewal, or you don't have an attorney reading the environment assessment, you are flying blind. The 2026 federal grazing fee is at $1.69 per AUM, effective March 1st. All right. So, on a personal note, I know that I've got a lot of friends and family that live in Colorado, and I've got particularly a lot of my college friends live in northwest Colorado, near or in the area where they reintroduced these wolves, and not a single one of them voted for it. All of the votes came from the Front Range area, from people who don't have to deal with these yet. Yet is the key word, because as we see, they can run through some cattle, and then they get out of hand. Take a look at the horse population. I don't know if there's any sort of herd management or pack management of these wolves. I don't think necessarily so. I was talking to a friend of mine from California who's working on an app where you can it's kind of a wolf locator app, and you can help update it. But he was talking about how in California, the Fish and Game or Parks and Wildlife or whatever the department is that is in charge of it has been known to turn the tracking collars off on those wolves when they get close to a town, so it doesn't spook the locals. Okay. So I don't know what the end state of that's going to be, but I can't imagine that they hang on to that too much, especially the way they're bleeding money. Colorado is used to be a very kind of business friendly state, low on taxes. They have the Tabor laws, which is a taxpayer bill of rights, which means that any budget surplus that the legislature has to be refunded to the taxpayers, and that has been tried. They've tried to repeal that several times, and luckily they never have. So we'll see how this progresses, but it seems like maybe wolves are out in Colorado. Let's hope so. Let's get into the war reel. Not a ton on that. I'm only wanting to update you on the stuff that really matters. So as of right now, we're on the Hormuz tanker war, day 70 plus. The U.S. has not seized a fourth tanker as of yet, and the Iranians still hold the MSC Francesca and Epaminadas at Bandar Abbas. There's mines still active in the strait allegedly, and the war risk insurance settled at 2 to 6% of whole value. Diesel at $5.64 retail is the on the ground consequence of this story not being over, so that's why we keep covering it. UAE, as we reported last week, has exited OPEC effective May 1st. Combined OPEC market share is now below 30%. The Saudis and the Russians have not publicly responded with a new quota framework, and no OPEC Plus emergency meeting on the public calendar as of yet. The Trump-Xi Jinping summit on Thursday and Friday. We covered that earlier. On the trade desk, though, the meeting could lift soybeans on advanced purchase commitments and could move beef market access to the export side. Or it could produce a joint statement and nothing else. We'll know more on Friday. But that's all I got on the war reel for today, because domestic ag is the main story today. Not just the main story, it is the story. But with all those hikes in fuel prices, just know most of that's coming from the Strait of Hormuz. It was the same thing when Biden was in office, when gas got so high there, his first year of his term. Well, what was going on then? That was when the Russia-Ukraine thing kicked off, and we heavily sanctioned Russia, and we kicked them off the SWIFT banking system, and oil prices skyrocketed. Okay, let's talk about the drought. 50.9% of the contiguous U.S. in drought for the period ending May 5th. In the southeast is widespread D2 to D4 or severe to exceptional. Central Plains, which is Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota, at D2, D3 with a SL designation, meaning ag and ecological. Texas and the Deep South has got some easing on their drought from recent rains. Alabama, Georgia, and Northwest Florida is pretty much unchanged. The big number to note of that is 63% of the U.S. cattle herd is in drought areas as of April. The next drought monitor will be Thursday. We'll update you on that when we get the news. Weather outlooks, 6 to 10 day for May 18th through the 22nd. We got above normal temperatures almost everywhere, with above normal precipitation in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa, plus the central part of the country and the east, all in that above normal precipitation. Below normal precipitation in the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, and Nevada is supposed to be warmer and drier, as if that was even possible. On the 8 to 14 day for May 20th through 26th, we got above normal temperatures essentially nationwide, with active precipitation forecasted in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. and below normal precipitation in the Pacific Northwest and here in Nevada. So it's dry pretty much everywhere, it seems like. But El Nino is coming. There was my farm bill stuff. All right, so let's close it out with some of my hits and misses. Hits on the DOJ Big Four antitrust thread. It did go criminal. I don't know if that's a hit. I still think it's kind of we'll see if anything actually comes of it. The drought locked wheat narrative, WASDE confirmed that was structural with the new crop at a negative 424 million bushels, below the lowest analyst estimate, and the Kansas City hard red winter wheat shot up 50 cents a bushel on that note. Got some developing stuff on the Trump and Xi Jinping summit and the Senate Ag Farm Bill schedule, though that schedule is still not public. Some misses that we had. We called wheat unlockable on May 1st after Thursday's profit take. The WASDE just blew that out. So lesson is when the USDA backs the narrative, profit take is the dip, not the top. Diesel wobble call, we were wrong. I don't think we're wrong yet. It just, we're still holding at $5.64 a gallon. The Hormuz premium is sticky and not peeling off. And the live cattle board action, the WASDE was bullish and the board sold off $1.70 to $2.80. 100 cash cattle still leading and the speculators are walking out. Don't trust the futures bid until the cash confirms it. All right. On this day in history, May 13th, 1607, the Jamestown colony was founded in Virginia, the first permanent English settlement in North America. The colonists tried to grow English barley and wheat and damn near starved before John Rolfe figured out tobacco in 1612, and the first export-grade commercial crop on the continent took root. Every commodity market that we cover today traces it back to that economic logic. They learned to grow what they could sell, and we are still doing that. Also, the first Pony Express rider on this day in what year was it? Let me see. I know there was another one. It was on the Pony Express, but I don't know where it was. Let me find it. I know I had it. I know I had it. Well, anyway, I forget what year it was, but it would have been 1870 something. The first Pony Express rider made it to Sacramento. Pony Express only lasted 18 months, but it made a lasting impact on the psyche of this country, and it helped create the romantic picture of the West that we still look at today. On the sports, just finished watching the A's take the Cardinals 6-2 after dropping a game last night. JT Ginn with a pretty outstanding performance on the mound, and we called up a couple youngsters from AAA, Henry Bolte and Mike Stefanik. Both of them had excellent nights in their debut. Bolte going 2 for 3 with a walk and a sacrifice fly, and Stefanik, I think, going 2 for 4 on the night. Maybe it might have been 3 for 4. Either way, really good performance from the youngsters. A young team just got younger, and they're fun as hell. So Rockies on the schneid again. So that's all we got. The Avs were up. Did they play tonight? Yes, and the Colorado Avalanche will advance to the conference. I think that's the conference finals. As they take down the Minnesota Wild 4-3 in overtime. They took that series 4-1. Good job with the Avs. There is a conspiracy theory going around that every time there's a new Toy Story movie drop, the Colorado Avalanche win the Stanley Cup. So Toy Story 5 is coming out in June, and we'll see if that trend holds. Quick little recap before we get out of here. There's all my sources here, so if you want to take a screenshot of that. The WASDE 671 dropped on Monday with a wheat blowout and beef production cut 243 million pounds. The board sold the bullish news anyways, and cash settle at 260 live on Tuesday and Wednesday of the Fed cattle exchange today tells you if it holds. So we'll report on that tomorrow. Diesel's pinned at $5.64 a gallon, $5.65 if you go by AAA average. Fertilizers at 70%. 70% unaffordable per the Farm Bureau survey, and the DOJ criminal antitrust probe of the Big Four Packers is real, maybe. Whistleblowers should know the bounty math. We'll see if anything comes out of that. We've got the Trump Xi Jinping summit tomorrow on Friday, and the Colorado Wolves cost $10 million and counting. So that's all I've got for you tonight. I'll make sure to do a better job of getting a episode out tomorrow a little bit earlier. Check back in with me and Jake in the morning on sports. We recorded a baseball show this morning, but due to some technical difficulties and then some just straight fuck-uppery on my part, we don't have an episode with sound. Had it till I lost it, and lost it on my fuck-uppery. Anyhow, that's all details that you probably don't care about. So get out there and get to work. Move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Your eyes up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right.